employee to employer, the biggest change was stress. Huge amount of stress. When you do your own thing, it's like 24 by 7. The shop never closes. I've been doing multitasking all my life. I think entrepreneurs are people who work 24 by 7, 365 days a year, and they are just pursuing a dream. As an employee, I was very stress-free. I was easygoing. And when you're an entrepreneur, you're taking a risk all the time. I always believe that I should make my own mistakes. I don't take one person as a mentor. Success is basically when you are happy in what you're doing. So I think luck takes precedence over everything. Nobody becomes a successful business person or a venture overnight. Your brain needs to know it's okay not to work sometimes. A go-getter with an ants focus.
I am your host Gaurav Garg, and we welcome all our viewers to our show Amazing Mentor. Today with us is Miss Richa Srivastava. She is an entrepreneur and ecopreneur. She is co-founder and MD of CEBS Worldwide and founder of DyePlay. With over 26 years of experience globally, a strategic business entrepreneur, experiences range from interpreting trends, understanding competition, formulating strategy, building a force in a multicultural environment from the ground, to scaling up to a large business, modest leaders of organizations like CEBS Worldwide, Adept, and more. It's a pleasure to welcome Ms. Richa Srivastava to our show, Amazing Mentor. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thanks a lot for having me on the show. It's a privilege to be here.
So tell us, how was you as a student in your childhood?
My childhood was a really nice one. I have all the great memories. I've come from a very strong background of having family members that are very supportive in whatever I did. I have made some unconventional choices in my career also, but I've always had a good family support. I was very chirpy and I was a very outgoing person. My school academics, I was pretty good, but I was a very co-curricular kind of a person. I would take part in extempores and debates, and I was a volleyball player at my school, and I represented my region. So that means I was a very outgoing person, hanging out a lot with my friends, being very pally with teachers. So it was a very, very nice childhood. I've had a very good schooling, especially, and college too. It was a good journey at that time.
So any specific childhood memory that comes to your mind when I say childhood?
As a student, I was very pally with friends, and I was a very outgoing person. So, if anybody wanted a favor, something like probably want to have a break and not want to study in maths class today and be like, okay, let's have a games period, as you know how it goes. You ask the teacher, I would be the one to be sent and said, request that she listen to you. So that kind of things. Other than that, I belong to family background and from the ministry and so we had some good times there also. So that was one of the good memories that I always cherish.
So what about your academic background?
Academically, I completed my 12th from a Kendra Vidyalaya in Jammu, and then initial years of my schooling I did in London. I was staying there. Then I did some part of it in Delhi, and then I finished it in Jammu. And for my college, I came to Delhi Polytechnic in Delhi, and here did my fashion design degree course. I also graduated from the Delhi University, so did things in parallel. I've been doing multitasking all my life. Then I completed my master's, and I also have a short foundation course in leadership from the Harvard Business School. So that's my academic run. That's what I've done,
So what was your dream profession that I want to be this when I grow up?
When I was young, I think till 8th, I wanted to be an IPS officer. Because that really suited my personality also, and a lot of people will tell you, why don't you become this, or, mean something of this similar. But then, post 8th class, I think I just, some fashion bug bit me. And that's when I started thinking, let me do something different. I'd like to go to Paris, I'd like to do such stuff. And that's how I moved forward with my fashion design.
So any notorious moment from your college life?
Yeah, bunking the hostel, hiding under the bed or something so that my evening attendance won't be done by the warden in the hostel, and then in the morning I can escape out without being known that I was not in the class. So all that stuff I've done a lot. I think I've done it in school also, by college only. I've done it in school also. But I was very focused. When I was doing all these kind of notorious activities, I would do it. But then when I would study or I would play volleyball, I was very, very focused. I wouldn't, I don't alter from my focus. Other times when it's party time, it's actually party time for me. When it's fun time, it's fun time. But when it's doing my task, whatever my responsibility is at that age, I take it very seriously.
So, who was your mentor and any particular influence which you have on your mind that, okay, I need to be an IPS? Was there any influential person?
Till 8th, Kiran Bedi really influenced me a lot. That's how the whole IPS thing got into my mind. Those were the days in early 90s and mid 90s, and she was really in power and she was really in news also at that time. So Kiran Bedi really, really influenced me at some point. Then when I moved forward, then yes, mentors kept changing here and there. I wouldn't pick on one. Was there a person mentor? Funny thing, I'll tell you, I really get inspired by ants. And obviously, I think I get inspired by ants for like past 30 years. I was in school, my father once told me that you must not kill ants. It's bad. They're walking by, just cross by, don't kill them. So then, okay, I listened, I understood, noted kind of a thing, and then I started observing that. I don't know if you have these facts. Sounds a little funny sometimes when I share it, the story with people. Ants actually have the potential to carry 10x their weight. So everybody is given a potential. It's just how much you optimize it. They work in colonies. They have a role. They're very focused. If you don't bother them, they will just have one task as per the colony assigned. Like they have to collect the food. So they just collect the food and keep walking, go back and keep walking. The amount of focus there is, that's really inspirational. And they won't bother you if you don't bother them. And they all have a role in mind that they've been given, though they don't have ears, but they have a role in mind that they have been given assigned this. I think that really got me inspired, and at a very young age, I figured it is all about focus. If you do the job you've been given to do, or whatever you've decided, then that's going to move you forward in your life. Whatever it is for that. I can't pin human mentors, I can't really pin anybody, but yes, I really get inspired by acts.
So, what about your professional journey? Where did you started your professional journey from?
Once I completed my fashion design, I went over to South Africa. I started teaching in a multi-course kind of a college, Acolyte, and I started teaching design there. I was also studying some part. My master's was still going on, and all those things were going on in parallel. So, but I started teaching there. And at that time, there were some opportunities of hosting your own collection in fashion show. So I started working on that on my own collection also, and I hosted two fashion shows near 1998 and 1999. But that was my first job. That was actually my first job. Teaching students design, and basically it was a fashion design show, and that's what we were, taking different modules.
So, how was your first interaction with students in your classroom?
It was very nice. It was very nice. South Africa had just come out of the apartheid era in 90s, mid 90s. It just come out of the whole Nelson Mandela thing had happened, and they got their independence really recently. And there was a lot of students the black students who wanted to learn a lot. The youth was really, really, at that time, I'm saying, I've not just interacted right now, but at that time they really wanted to do something, their families, themselves. They felt, you could see they were free, soul-wise, they were free. They wanted to do a lot of things. So, and there were a lot of Indian people also there, Indian and white students were also there. But the kind of info and the kind of learning that I saw that the black students had, it was amazing. It was amazing. You could feel that they want to grow as human beings, they want to grow in their professional life, they want to grow as a family. So you could see a lot of that. It was a very nice interaction. My accent was different at that time and theirs was different. That was the only challenge we used to have. But it was a good experience. It was a very good experience actually. And I learned a lot. I was very young at myself too, and when I used to interact with these students, I could feel the energy they have and how they want to analyze it. So it was good. My fashion show was also very, very appreciated at that point in time, and the kind of collections I brought in. That experience was amazing. That experience as being a young fashion designer and releasing your own collection, it was actually quite a applaudable job for my own self, and I was very happy with myself that I've done a good job. And I think I value that a lot So in initial years, I think everybody looks for validation that, am I doing the right thing? I mean, we also look for validation right now, but yes, yeah, as you mature, you understand that validation has its own pros and cons, but it comes with a lot of mental stress. But yes, but I used to validate my own self also. Have I done well? Could I mark myself? It's like, yeah, I would mark myself. And I used to be happy.
So, how was your transaction from an employee person to an entrepreneur?
The journey between being an employee and entrepreneur, there was a 2 years gap. I had moved to US and I wasn't doing anything for 2 years. But post that, yes, I think from an employee to employer, the biggest change was stress. Huge amount of stress. When you do your own thing, it's like 24/7. The shop never closes. But when you're an employee, it's like 7 p.m. Okay, I don't know you, you don't know me, and I'm going to sign up for the pay now. And you actually have a mind shift, and your mind quickly changes and comes back to your home or your friends or whatever you want to do. But when you are an entrepreneur, your journey is 24/7, 365 days. You don't stop. Even when you're with the children or you're shopping, the back of the mind is something going on. And there's a call that you can never miss because every call is important when you're an entrepreneur. But when you're an employee, you have the privilege of responding, I am busy, I'll call you back later. I think as an entrepreneur, you would understand the same thing. There's this whole privilege that we enjoy as an employee and that we do not enjoy as an entrepreneur.
So, what was the most important part of your entrepreneurship journey?
The most important part would be as an entrepreneur, I think the challenge I took was that as an employee, I was always doing my job and wearing the hat that I was assigned under my KRAs. As an entrepreneur, I realized I'm going to be wearing all the hats at any given time. And the switch has to be really quick. So I think that was a challenge and that was an accomplishment that I achieved very quickly. I meditate. So when I meditate, I found myself that I had become restless as an entrepreneur. I was not able to meditate because then all these thoughts would come to my mind and I would not be able to block them away. But slowly, I started meditating more and I started trying to put my focus. I thought about my little ants. And then I figured that, I better make this switch seamless where I understand that all these hats are mine. And I think that achievement for me and still being calm and not losing my cool over the switch of hats is something that I think I have achieved for myself and I'm pretty happy about it.
Which was your first client and how hard was it to convince him to work with you?
We have two partners. Convincing the clients was my other partner's Satish's responsibility. It wasn't mine. So that way I was very happy that I never got to do selling too much. But yes, you can say that even HR is selling. It is a sales kind of a job. You've got to convince the person that he or she is coming to the right company. And that's what I did. And I don't think it was very difficult. You got to be honest. You got to tell them honestly what it is. If you tell them the pros and cons honestly and then they make a choice, that's a wise choice. Expectations are set right. You're not making any false promises. It was pretty easy. I've been a very honest person. If I don't have something, I'll let you know. If I'm unable to do something, I'll let you know. And vice versa. So that way I think it was pretty neat. I don't think I ever had that problem. I was honest. Those who decided to embark the journey with us, they were happy. And those who decided not to, I'm sure they must have been happier. I guess.
So as an entrepreneur, what all are the day-to-day challenges of an entrepreneur's life?
As an entrepreneur, I think now once I cross that milestone, I think the entrepreneur, I think it is, you want to do everything yourself. Everything yourself. You have somebody and they're not able to do it. Okay, give it to me, I'll do it. That person didn't turn up today. Don't worry. We have to give it to the customer. I'll do it myself. I think that's a really huge challenge because then when you do everything, quality takes a toss. You can't do everything. Let's be real. Right? You can't. As entrepreneurs, we do try to do everything. Sometimes because we are not happy with the other way the other person has done or we don't agree. Or sometimes it's cost cutting also. So whatever it is, we try to do everything ourselves. I think that's a huge challenge. We've got to stop. As an entrepreneur, when I talk to fellow entrepreneurs, I tell them don't do everything yourself. You can't. Let the expert do their job. You like it or don't isn't necessary, that it's right or wrong. It's just if they've done it, they are qualified to do it. Give them an opportunity to let it be as is, and maybe the customer will like it. I mean, as long as you've not written the code wrong and you've not published it wrong, or you've not broken some links. I mean, that's technically foolish. But yes, in terms of dye play, and now I have this dye play and SIBS and I keep flipping over, philosophy. But like I have dye play and we're into art, we're into fashion art kind of a thing. So art is very subjective. Maybe the customer will like it. Everything I like doesn't mean that you're going to like. So I think that is a huge challenge as entrepreneurs. We should put a pause sometimes and say, the other person is right.
So what is your definition of entrepreneur?
I think entrepreneurs are people who work 24 by 7, 365 days a year, and they are just pursuing a dream.
So what are the major differences you felt in an employee's journey and an entrepreneurship journey?
As an employee, I was very stress-free. I was easygoing. As an entrepreneur, when I switched to that journey, initially I was really worked up. There would be times when I'd be really worked up and I'd be like, how is this going to happen? Anxiety hit me because I wanted to ensure that everything is perfect. There's an image and there are definite profits and losses. So I think that is the difference I felt in both roles. As an employee, I also think we have the coffee breaks, the lunch breaks, the smoke breaks. We don't as entrepreneurs. We don't have those kind of breaks, right? But I think as an employee, it's a little difficult because your control is limited. You can't exercise that control. There are a lot of employees I feel who do a lot of hard work, but because of corporate politics, the work doesn't get recognized. But when you're an entrepreneur, you're a bit more in control. You do understand. You're at the top level and you do understand what the situation is like. So I think these are some very vital differences. Everything comes with pros and cons. There's a flip side to every coin. So I think both have their positives and negatives.
So what was the thought process behind starting CEBS Worldwide?
CEBS founder and the co-founder. CEBS founder has a lot of technical expertise and experience. He's an ex-IBMer on his plate. And at that time, in US and in other countries also, mid-sized businesses and large, not the giants, they wanted to get technical services and expertise, consulting, but not incur that kind of huge cost which comes with companies like the big giants like Wipro and HCL and all that, because it's a little difficult to take up that cost. Cost may be justified, but for a mid-sized or a scale business, it's really difficult. We had similar technical expertise, but our cost was much more justified. It was easier to give the client what he or she wanted at their price. So it was good work being delivered at economical prices. And we were able to give one-to-one kind of a service, which we still do. We do a lot of one-to-one consulting because then, and that is what the new market was asking for. One-to-one consulting, a personalized touch. So that is what we were able to give. When we realized that we have that kind of potential, we formed CEBS Worldwide and we started growing it. Initially we were in US, then we grew our offices. We got our development centers established in India, starting in Chennai and Noida. And then eventually we started getting into having sales offices and then customer support offices in various countries like UK, like Egypt, Dubai, and many more such like that. What happened was slowly customers did realize that we are giving them a very one-to-one thing. So we take up only so much of business and we ensure that what we take up, we justify the deliverables. And that is what got CEBS growing slowly. And now we are in 5 continents and we have grown 24 times than what we were. And we have come to a point where we are happy, we have customer references and they're happy to say yes, you can work with us. And I think that is a lot of success in our work. Maybe we are still a mid-sized IT company, but we have some very happy customers and returning back customers. So there's an 80-20 kind of a model here where we're getting a lot of business from our old customers.
So what all product and services do CEBS provides?
We do a lot of work, but we're working currently in the last couple of years. We've been working with ports and customs, supply chain, and e-commerce companies, providing innovative solutions and services like blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, digital marketing and analytics. E-commerce was there right from day one, and then slowly we grew into analytics, and then we've been doing blockchain. We've been, we are expanding like that. We started and established ourselves with e-commerce. We were doing e-commerce for a long time. There was a product of IBM that we primarily started with, and then we graduated to doing a lot of analytics. We did a lot of analytics for Korean companies like Samsung. We did analytics for European companies. Then we have in the last 5 years, I think, we've been working a lot with blockchain. We've been working with Middle East, but yes, we've been working with ports and customs of the Middle East region. We've done some supply chain projects. We have got tie-ups with companies who are doing hand-to-hand work on these projects. We are providing some innovative solutions and services like blockchain. We've done some work on AI also, which is going to be live very soon. Machine learning, digital marketing, of course, because it is the era of digital marketing these days. Everything which is on screen is believable. So yeah, that's a lot of work we've done there. And we are working on newer technologies soon to be announced.
So, as a founder and MD, CEBS Worldwide, have you shortened your responsibilities as you were in the starting when you have started as an entrepreneurship journey?
Yes. God was very kind. As we grew, we have created middle layer and senior manager kind of a layer, and we put things in an automation mode now. It's been 20 years. So things had to come in an automation mode. That is how I got a time to pursue my passion of fashion design. And I've always been a lover of the nature. I've been very, very, very keen on nature and the natural resources, be it the land or be it the water, whatever it is, the plants, the trees. I'm really passionate about them. So that's how I got a lot of time, because everything went into an auto mode. And because it went into auto mode, and one thing which has really been, I think which has have put in a lot of difference in the ecosystem is the work from home culture also. People get a lot of time. I mean, if your infra is supportive and you don't have to go out and spend number of hours in a week on in the traffic, you get a lot of time. Everything, when it came to work from home, everything got in an automated way. And then I think I leveraged that. And now there's a lot of decentralization of power that we've done in the organization. The middle layer has a lot of authority, a lot of power in the last 10 years. Decision making has become decentralized. That has been a success, again, for since now that I say it.
So, what's your mantra of managing employees?
Each person comes with their own strengths and weaknesses. Even when we employ people, we do certain tests with them, psychometric tests and things like that, where we see on paper what comes out to be their analysis of at them as being as individuals, right, and their strengths and weaknesses. Then, personally, I like to give people 3 months for them to showcase their success to us. Now, my mantra is that as an employer, one should maximize and optimize on an employee's strengths. For their weaknesses, you can give them some tips on how to work their weaknesses. I don't think they've come there to be evolved or to be changed. I think they've just come there to give their best, and their best is their strength. So if I feel that this guy can do great coding but is not great at creating documents, I would rather have somebody else create those documents, give them an hour each, 2 hours each, and this guy, the coder will tell the analyst what needs to be written. This guy will create documents. Don't ask your coder to do it, because he cannot do it. He cannot do it. As an analyst, whatever his strengths are or her strengths are, let's maximize on that and don't make them do jobs that they're not good at, because that's when you start failing. In fact, I now recall about, I think 2012 or 13, we had some people come in, join the company. They were all coming in from the same company. 3 people, they came from the same company. One of them, I remember the one face also. One of them was a huge leader kind of a person. I will tell everybody what to do. And I realized that this person can either strengthen the team, or they can probably, dilute the team. Because he or she had a lot of authority in his spoke. Back end they had authority or not, that's a different issue. But initially they were very convincing. You know how the leader type guys are. People are, they're a different kind of they're on different kind of tangent. So then I spoke to him and I tried to explain him where or how he can use his energy in the organization that would benefit him and the organization and the team itself. He was more of a managerial kind of a person, a PM kind of a person. I think that's where he decided that he wants to become a tech lead, slowly into converted into a tech PM. And that worked really well for us and the team and for him. He is now settled in Australia. He resigned 3 years back and then he went there. And I think that is how we should operate as employers. That just tap that potential and make it and or channelize it in the interest of everybody, at least in the interest of the company and the individual. And it works out. There are times that it does not work out also, but then you got to take the chance. And when you're an entrepreneur, you're taking a risk all the time.
So what all product and services do?
DyePlay is a luxury and contemporary brand that is based on garments which are either natural or organic in nature, and they have been dyed and printed in organic colors only. So there is no chemical being used in our own process, and we are working towards minimal to zero waste. So that's the focus of the organization. There is a lot of research which shows that people who wear acid dyed clothes or who wear perfume for a long time, they are prone more to being cancerous in future, or they're also going through some mental diseases like dementia. So it is advised to make choices of natural products when you do shop. I mean, either way, in food, in clothes, or whatever it is. A lot of market research shows that organic products are catching on and people are becoming more and more aware. Also, our products are not only skin friendly, they're good for the earth. When I'll tell you a story, I had gone somewhere towards a more green countryside kind of a place, and there was a lot of green there, of course, because it was countryside. But then there was a patch, like about a 2 acre kind of a patch, which had no greenery. So it was strange that the whole area is green, but then why is this like a barren land? So I asked the farmer there what's going on, and he told me there is a company, there's a factory nearby, and they dye clothes. Whatever waste comes through, they disperse it on this piece of land. This is a 2 acre kind of a land which has been protected by a boundary, and everything is going in that. Because the discharge of the acid dye is going into that land again and again, what is happening is that the soil has lost the capability and the potential to actually grow anything. So just imagine the kind of damage we are doing to it. Also, research shows that the dyes, the acid dyes and all these dyes, they have chemical dyes, they have a lot of discharge which is actually thrown in the water bodies, like the ocean, rivers and all. That is actually killing the marine life. When we make a choice to wear a natural product or have something natural, we are actually adding a few life years to the planet, which is our tagline also. So adding a few life years to the planet. And that is exactly what I wanted to do. In my own way, I wanted to give back to the nature as much as I can. Now, the only way is if the buyer becomes conscious and becomes aware, they will start making these choices. So that is exactly what DyePlay is trying to do.
So what are the core values which makes DyePlay and CEBS Worldwide unique and successful?
Our propositions are unique. In CEBS, we come up with very personalized touch to the project. It's not like a sales guy would get a project and then it will be left hanging in the loop. We ensure that in the delivery, we are there for you. If we promise you something, the people who promise you are going to be there as a part of the project right till the end, which makes it very comfortable for the customer. In DyePlay, as I said, we are providing a solution which is good for you as an individual, which is good for the nature, and it is also going to ensure that you give your generations a green planet, a good atmosphere, a good ecosystem that you were given when you were born. So that is what we give. And other than that, we give you an honest solution to whatever we are saying. We will not, I feel there's a lot in the market that what you say as a sales pitch, is that really what you're delivering? If we sell something, we want to be honest about it.
So is your background from DyePlay?
Yes, my background. This is a linen fabric which was printed with eucalyptus leaves, which we call sapeda. It was printed with eucalyptus leaves, and I really liked it, so I just put it.
So, how has been your journey from a lecturer to fashion designer to a founder?
So from a lecturer, it was very young. My energy was super at that time, and I was very young myself. So yes, the journey was good. The journey was good. From a fashion designer, I became an entrepreneur, an ecopreneur. So the journey has had its own challenges. I mean, it's quite a shift in role, but I think it has been a good journey. It's been learning. It's primarily been a good journey.
So, what was the most challenging phase in your entire journey till date?
The most challenging, as I said, was when I moved from an employee to being an employer. I think the time when I was getting really anxious is what was really challenging. But then after that, I think I was pretty much okay. I mean, I was pretty good in terms of managing my business, managing my employees. But I think the biggest challenge was when I made that switch from, because when you make a switch from being an employee to an employer, all of a sudden you had those expectations from your company, which now somebody else has from you. You have only seen the story from one side. Okay, my bonus, my pay was not good enough. But then when somebody comes to you and says, my bonus was not good enough, you've got to explain them why. And I could understand their pain, but then I had to, tell my pain. I think that journey, that short 2 years, were a little difficult. But then post that, I think I've been very focused, and I think that's really.
So, what's that one thing you love about your journey and profession the most?
The fact that I am in control of what I'm doing and I am not being bossed around all the time, I like that.
So, who is your mentor in professional journey?
I have a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs. I take from them. I see. I also believe when I look at somebody and I see that they've done this mistake or that they've done this right and this is the result, I take the result. I always believe that I should make my own mistakes. But if somebody is already making that mistake, for God's sake, let me not repeat their mistake only, Let me make my own mistake. Let me make innovative mistakes. Let me not do something, let me not do something which has already been done. So that way I take a lot of people into account that yes, this guy's done really well. This guy has done this wrong and this was the result. I will not do this, provided my environment and my circumstances are similar. So I think that is what I take. I don't take one person as a mentor. I'm a very observationalist person. I keep a lot of observation going all the time. Even if when I'm talking to people in personal, I see what is going on, I observe and I derive it from that. I will tell my children also often that if somebody has made a mistake, don't do that. Make a newer mistake. Make an improvised mistake. At least there's something new to what you're doing. But if you make the same thing, then you're actually not observing or not taking away. You have to take the lesson from others also, and that's always great. And of course, then you have the liberty of making your own mistakes. So that I think is what gets me going, and I don't really hold on to one mentor.
So, how would you define success? And according to you, what is the role of hard work, smart work, and luck in achieving success?
Success is basically when you are happy in what you're doing. Today, if I get a project, I can call it success. Tomorrow, if I lose another project, I will call it failure. So I don't want my success to be so dependent. If you are happy in doing what you're doing, then that's success for me, right? Of course, growing an organization is a wholesome success. Growing it from this percentage to number of employees to the deliverables is success. But then these are all components of success. But if you were to ask me in one line, what is success for me? Being happy in what I am doing and being able to continue doing that, it's success. Hard work, I think, is very important, but I think smart work is more important. If you're not doing smart work, the world is all about multitasking these days. The world is all about being able to deliver the right solution to the right person, at the right time. Right? I think smart work is more important. Hard work is definitely important. You can't avoid that piece. But then smart hard work is better. And luck is definitely one of the, it takes 51% of the stake in the entire thing. If you're lucky, then whatever you are doing, I mean, you, for that little matter, you see there are maybe two shops, two bhaias selling street food. One is doing great, otherwise not. Same location, similar products, same audience. Quality of the product might also be similar, but then one is doing great, otherwise not. Definitely is lucky. Definitely is just purely lucky. You know. So I think luck takes precedence over everything. That's why I always say 51% stake is in with luck, and the 49% is your smart hard work. I don't see them different. And if you're just doing hard work, you're just picking up the bricks and putting them at one place, you're really not making any motion. So smart work has to come. The bricks must reach the destination to be able to make a building. So that's smart hard work.
So what does leadership means to you? And according to you, what are the quality of a good leader?
Leadership is someone who is able to do work, but then get even more work done by the team happily for the growth of the community or for the growth of the organization, as well as a equivalent growth of the individual of the team themselves. That's a good leader. If you are able to do things by yourself, that's great. But then if you have a whole team who is able to do work with you and is happy, that means you're a good leader. If they grow with you in the next 5 years, you're a good leader. So that's what I see as a good leader. At the end of the day, if you take care of people's personal growth also, and they are happy about it, that's what a good leader is about. Because then your company or your venture it will grow. Even if you're a small team in an organization which is not owned by you, but you're a good leader, the whole team will grow. You will grow as a person. I think that's a good leader.
So what advice would you like to give to young entrepreneurs?
There is a lot of, after the COVID era, and I say after, so that means it's over now. After the COVID era, a lot of young people I've seen have become entrepreneurs. A lot of young people. Every third person in this youth has become an entrepreneur. What my advice to them will be, to say I have become an entrepreneur is very easy. It's actually very easy. But entrepreneurship has a lot of tests which requires stamina, perseverance, patience, and you've got to have a lot of funds that you need to keep pouring in to keep it going. Don't start just because you made a good product doesn't mean you can start an entrepreneurship journey and that's it. You got to put in the mark. You must have a good network. You must have some amount of money coming in regularly to put in that, because you're not going to be making profit the first 2 years anyways, right? You've got to have that kind of patience when there are gloomy days. You don't say, okay, I'm going to pack my bags, because then you would have lost all that effort and all that time that you've already put in being an entrepreneur. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, then do you have these qualities? Do you have the bandwidth to hang around for 5 years and keep putting in, keep investing in time and money and resources before it actually works out for you? Nobody becomes a successful business person or a venture overnight. It takes a good 5 years to be actually coming to a point where you're in making a profit day in and day out. So yeah, as an entrepreneur to a fellow entrepreneur, I would say if you are starting the journey, make sure you have it all. Else you'll just be sad and you would have lost a lot of sources. So think about it and then get into it. And once you're in it, make sure you stay there. You are stuck there. Nobody will tell you anything perfect. But whatever people tell you, take it from there, get the best part of it, apply it to your business, and then move on. But remember, 5 years it takes before you're actually there.
So what are do's and don'ts you should strictly follow in your journey?
Do's, listen to everybody. Don'ts, don't do everything that everybody says. Do what your heart tells you. Do what is right. Do a lot of research before you outsource it, so that I don't do all my work myself. But before I outsource, I always do a research. If I am telling something to, let's say for a minute, let's say in DyePlay, if I am outsourcing some work, I would know the nuances of that work itself. I would not be an expert, but if somebody tells me a story that this is how they're going to do it, I should know, is it right or is it not? Because I would have spent that amount of money, time, and my energy, and then I don't want to find out that I failed because I just bought blindly what somebody was telling. So I like to do my research and then outsource my work, which is just you know it, but you still are not an expert. So I suggest people to do research. I suggest people to listen to to others. I suggest don't feel that don't feel sad the days things are not working out for you. Have a work-life balance. Try when you go off. I know it's a 24/7 journey every day. I do it myself. But when you are gone off the office, try to keep yourself, privilege yourself for 1 to 2 hours of me time, which you spend with your family or which you do something, you probably switch off your phone at that time and or you forward your call to your number 2 or number 3 and say, if I get called at this hour, could you please take care of it? Nothing of that. So give your brain needs, like any machinery, your brain needs to relax. Your brain needs to slow down a bit. Your brain needs to know it's okay not to work sometimes. It's all right. Every minute doesn't have to be productive. So just tell yourself these things and you'll be good. And for a don't, I really think as a don't, listen to everybody in Hindi, we say, suno sabki karo apni man ki. So just follow your heart. Don't get easily diverted from your focus. You know what's best for your company. Keep that in mind.
So what are the advices to young graduates who are just entering the professional world?
Young graduates, I think you should start off with a job. That's what I tell my children also. Start off with a job. Learn. There is a lot to learn in the world, in your own field. First, learn. See if you can actually deliver the quality that the world is expecting of you. When you have come to that point where you have the expertise, when you have the experience, when you have the potential, the capacity, the knowledge to deliver, then if you want to become an entrepreneur, become it. But before you take the reins of a business in your hand, I think one should work and one should deliver and see if it's a piece of cake for them or not. And I also think these days the younger professionals, they're a little easy about their job. I'm not complaining, but I think a lot of them are a little easygoing. It's okay, it's not that. Your growth is directly proportional to what kind of energy and honesty you put in your job. So nobody wants to get you to work for very long hours. At least I think so. But yes, if you do your job honestly, if you do your job well, if you give good results, your growth is going to be directly proportional. Be it a job or be it an office, be it a business.
So now we'll start a rapid round.
Okay.
Any one thing, luck, hard work or smart work to achieve success?
Luck.
Your favorite destination?
My home.
Employer and an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur.
Success in one line?
Don't take it to your heart. It's very easily gone the other day.
Your favorite actor and actress?
Tom Cruise and Madhuri Dixit.
Your favorite adventure?
I like swimming a lot. So going in the ocean is nice.
Your favorite time pass?
Reading books and enjoying the nature.
Your favorite color?
White.
Favorite country to do business?
US.
So at last, one line that defines you.
A go-getter with an ants focus.
Thank you very much for your precious time and the thought process that you have shared on us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav. Thanks a lot.